last week we talked about Dumbledore, The Secrets of Dumbledore, and having a gay character and this movie has a gay character, but it actually is a part of the character, not just thrown in for window dressing, and actually has something to do with the plot, but not in a way that is 2022 or anything like that. It's just a mother and a daughter trying to connect, even though they're very different people. And
you know what? So one of the questions we had sort of prepped with a little bit here was like the idea of whether or not this is like a woke movie. And it's odd to me, I think, because I feel like there's a lot of instances, and we see this a lot in Disney, Marvel, like all this kind of stuff, where you see like the inclusion of a gay character or a character that is, like trans or something like that it's so transparently the movie studio trying to score points with a certain demographic and with like Hollywood in general, right? This not only doesn't feel like that in any way, right? But it also the fact that her daughter is lesbian matters to the story, because it's part of what, like when Evelyn's father is coming from China. Evelyn already has just a ton of baggage trying to connect with her father and make her father proud of her and get her father's approval and all this kind of stuff. And of course, China is very, anti-gay in a lot of ways. And there are a lot of people in China that are very, very, I don't even really like using the word traditional, but you know what I mean? Like there are a lot of people in China who do not accept this at all. Right. And thus why The Secrets of Dumbledore omits all of that content for its Chinese release. Right. So, I mean, that, by the way, that's the other thing, like as a little bit of an aside, like you could not show this movie in China because it's not like the fact that the daughter is lesbian is not like, as Paul said, window dressing. It's not incidental to the story in such a thinly veiled way that you could literally just take it out for a Chinese release. You can't take it out for a Chinese release. It's inherent to the story, because part of the point is that Evelyn is dismissing her daughter's relationship, not even because she doesn't like it or doesn't approve herself per se, but because she's worried that how that's going to reflect on her relationship with her father. And so when her father comes in, she's like trying to introduce, Joy's girlfriend, Becky. She's trying to introduce Becky, and she's, well, like she's a good friend. And it's like, yeah. So at once she's like lying to her father and also like really deeply disrespecting her daughter's relationship, And so that has all kinds of implications for the way that these characters relate to each other. And again, that's not just window dressing, and it's not, and also there's nothing about it. Like when I think of woke movies and when we talk about that, I think of movies that really like throw politics in your face, movies that like try to force you to get on board with a particular ideology. And there's nothing here that is like, there's no like aggressive promotion of identity politics. There's no political speeches. There's no like even the daughter, who in this case would have every right to sort of stand up and say something like, look, you homophobe, whatever, doesn't even do that. Because she's actually going like, you're my mom. I want my mom to care about the things I care about.
Right.
And you don't, and so it's not this. Yeah, I don't know. It's amazing to me when that stuff is handled really well, which it is in this case. Like you don't get that sense of like political activism behind it. You don't get the sense that it was studio notes. Oh, let's just drop in a line here. Let's do like the girl power scene in Endgame or whatever. It doesn't matter if all these characters are on completely opposite ends of where we've geographically established them to be. Let's just make sure they all show up here for this one moment so we can have this cool, like that's manipulation, right? Like that's not storytelling. That's not good, thoughtful storytelling. And this is.